Okay, circle graphs. Not quite sure if you covered that yet last year or not, but we definitely do need our compass if we have to draw the circle from scratch, and or we have to definitely use our protractor. So have those tools out. Definitely also a ruler and your protractor. So you need all this stuff, okay, for this lesson. So make sure you have all those tools. So circle graph, to show something that is divided into parts. Circle graph I find is the easiest, quickest graph to use. So for example, in this first part, it's really just understanding what everything means here. So if I'm talking about we've done percents, right? Now if a circle represents 360, that means from here all the way around, right? 360 degrees. That also the whole circle, which we would never graph this would represent 100% of something, right? If we keep it super easy, we cut it into sections. This represents 90 degrees, but 90 degrees out of 360, if you look at the fraction of that, it's really 1/4, which is really 25% of something. Now, we don't need to draw the graph, but we can easily see that we can take the actual calculation. So 360 times 1% to know how many degrees that is, right? So we would definitely grab our calculator and say 360 times, I'm going to do decimal 0.1 for my percent, and that gives me 3.6 degrees. Now, obviously, if we're going to graph that and put that on our circle graph, we would definitely pick 4 degrees to actually draw, because 3.6 would be quite the challenge to get that perfectly on there, okay? Same thing here, 360. I want to know what 75% of that is. Some of you, oh, miss, can I just say 90 times 3 because 25%? Sure you can, but you can easily just take that 360 times 75%, and that gives me 270 degrees. You need to know that skill, but we've done percents, so that's not a new skill. Okay, now for example, applying all this to a real one, if you don't already have the total, you do need to add up all your survey, your data that you have. Now, guys, this has been created a while ago, so Amazing Race, Survivor, SpongeBob, Canadian Idol, obviously a lot of these things are not even on TV anymore, but when I created that 10 years ago, all these things were popular items on TV. So, for example, okay, I want to know what 20% out of that total is, 250. So go do that calculation, right? We know how to do that. We are changing this to on, so you can divide it, multiply by 100, you can cross multiply and divide to get that answer. You pick your method, okay? So I have 20, if I want to do 20 divided by, was it 2? Sorry, I can't remember what my number was. Hold on. 250. So I have 20 divided by 250. I get 0.08, which is really just 8%. Okay, so go do that for every single one of them. So if I want to do the next one, 100 out of 250, I need to know what 50 is out of 250, and your last one, 80 out of 250. So go find all those percents for me. I need all those percents, okay? So we've done the first one. Definitely need to go find my other percent. So I'm going to use my normal calculator and not the smartboard one. So this one here, I have 100 divided by 250. I get a decimal 0.4, which is really 40%. 40% there, it is a percent, so write it down. 50 divided by 250, that mental math, 20%. And the last one there, 80 divided by 250 is 32 degrees. Now do a check for me. When you add up the 8, the 40, the 20, and the 32, do a quick check. So 32 plus 8 plus 60, that has to give you a perfect 100%. Now, if you have decimals to round, there will be some questions that you might have like decimals in your percents. That's fine. Round to decimal spaces and it should give you very, very, very close to 100%. Now, your next conversion is really, you want to know, like above, like we did up here, I want to know 360 times 8% of those only. I want to know what degree that is, okay? Now there's lots of ways. You can just do 360 times 8% on your calculator. I get 28.8 degrees. For sure, we can just round that to 29 degrees to actually draw it on our circle. So go ahead and find the other ones. You can also do this, right? 100%. How much is that on 360? So the first one I did, guys, was a pure percent. The next one I can do cross multiply and divide setup. So you pick your method that you want. That's all previous knowledge. 360 times 40 divided by 100. I get 144 degrees there. So go find all the rest of your percents there. So the next one, 20%. Please go check that on your calculator. I get 72 degrees here for 22%, 20%. And the last one, 360 times 32%. I get 115.2 degrees. So notice if I left my 2 here and above here, I leave this as 28 point. Right there, it gives you perfectly. When you add all this up, guys, even if you rounded this one to 115, when you add all this up, it's going to give you a perfect 360. It has to. Okay, so your 360, your 100, your 250 all represent the 100%. Now, compass work. Definitely work that I think most of us have done. Now, I do want to eyeball where my center is, which is a little bit challenging on the smartboard. So there's my first one. I want to create the first radius. I always go right-hand side. You can go anywhere you want. And I'm going to start drawing. So put your compass, protractor, right centered on the 0, and then go draw out your degrees. So the first one on top I have is 29 degrees. Now with my little contraption here, I can go get 29 degrees like this. With yours, all you do, right, is give yourself a little marker there. Remove your compass. Sorry, I keep on saying compass, protractor, and go draw your line. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to line it up like this, but you really don't need to be outside the circle. You just want to make sure that you are lined up perfectly here. Do you see that? Right? So you want to make sure that you're lined up there, but you don't really need that. Right. Let me get rid of this. There you go. And I would suggest you label it right away so you don't forget. So this little section, don't put the degree in there. I want the percent. So that percent is 8%, and give it a title. 8% is, back up top, survivor. So you want to be actually, okay, so you want to be actually writing the word survivor in here. I made it really big though. Okay, so in there, you want to write the word survivor. So that definitely fits in here, guys. I went a little bit too big on my smartboard. Next one is what? It's Amazing Race, and I have 144 degrees. So again, use your protractor. And you want to rotate that a little bit. Okay, so you maybe want to rotate your paper instead of rotating the protractor. But here, notice again, I'm lined up 0 straight there, okay? Now I want to go get my 144 degrees. So look at what you're doing. So here is obviously 0. I'm going to go look, I'm starting from 0 inside. 0 all the way to 144. And you can see that right in the middle of my protractor. It does jump to 30 degrees because it's doing the opposite, which is weird. Okay, so 144 is right here. I can actually pop that out right away and I get my 100 on mine. You guys draw yourself a little line here, right? I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to actually use the 144 I have so you can actually see the 144 that I've drawn in. But obviously for your purposes, guys, we do not put, I'm going to go liquid paper that. You don't put that degree in there, okay? And you don't do this. That was just my smartboard. Okay, you don't put that in there, but I definitely, 144, I believe on top again, I'll keep on forgetting, Amazing Race. Race, and that represented what percent? That represented 40%. Makes sense, right? 50% would be half a circle, and then you keep on going, keep on rotating and keep on rotating all the way around, okay? To complete that whole thing. So I now have two things left to draw. I have a 72 degrees, which I can easily go get. Right, again, I'm going to be upside down now, but definitely rotate your paper if you need to. There's my center, and there's my 72 degrees. I'm going to do that upside down. So I have my 0, 72 degrees is right here. I'm going to move that out of the way, get my ruler, draw a nice straight line that matches. And that one there is 20%. And that's going to be SpongeBob. And my last one, if I want to just check it, it should give me 115 degrees for that last one. So my zeros all lined up, and I'm just going to check there. Yeah, 115 degrees. So I should be very close. It's not going to be perfect. 0, and I'm like, you know, if I look over here, I'm a little bit bigger than 1. I'm a little bit bigger here than 115, but it is close, okay? It's going to be really hard to make it exactly if we're off by 1 degree with the other sections. So here, my last one represented 32%, and that's my Canadian Idol.